Welcome back to the next section on all you need to know to be comfortable writing Python scripts. In this section, we go on to explore how to work with Python on the UNIX-based operating system. Apart from other things, the shell, whenever we execute a command, it does parsing. In parsing, it takes care of glob expressions, variable substitution, and redirection operators. So let's go on to explore what happens when you give an echo star. Observe that it is giving us the list of files in the current directory. When you give echo star, it is giving you a list of files in the current directory. Now let me execute echo $path. When I give echo $path, it is giving me the value of the variable path. Now let's say, for example, I give echo good morning greater than, let's say, new file. Okay? So now let us find out what happens when we execute this. Observe that we are not able to see anything on the screen. When we execute echo good morning greater than new file, it just came back to the prompt and we have no clue what's happening. Let us try and understand how to understand what's happening behind the scene. To this end, we will execute set minus xv. This is the setting of the shell. Minus v is for the verbose mode and minus x is for xtrace mode, meaning it will tell you what does the shell see. So let me hit the enter key. Now I am re-executing echo star. Observe that it showed you echo star as it is. This is the command we executed at the $prompt. It is showing the command as it is. That's because of the minus v option. Now at the plus prompt, plus is actually the debug prompt. So at the plus prompt, it is showing echo followed by the list of files in the current directory. Now this is what the shell is seeing, which means the shell is going to translate the star to match the list of files in the current directory, and echo is only going to do the display. Now let us go on to give echo $path. Let's find out what it gives us. When we give echo $path, observe that it translates to echo followed by this particular value. Echo does not know how to get the value of the variable. The shell gets the value of the variable and gives it to echo. Echo only does the display. Similarly, when I give echo good morning greater than new file and hit the enter key, observe that the minus v option is showing me this, but at the plus prompt, at the debug prompt, it is only showing me echo good morning. The greater than new file is not available. What is this supposed to be? Let us try and understand. This is telling us that the redirection is a feature which is implemented in the shell. After the parsing, what does the shell do with the command? Let us try and understand. The shell, first of all, checks out if the command you have entered is an alias. If I have an alias, observe that if I have an alias, ls in our case is an alias. If I give ls, this is an alias. So it is going to let me switch off the xtrace in the verbose mode. And let's clear the screen. When I give ls, set plus xv, when I give ls, it is showing me, okay, this is basically because there is a shell function which we have created. So let me show you set minus f. So type set minus f. So this is a list of functions, and one of those functions which has been created here is ls, which is giving pwd and echo good morning. So when I give ls here, it's giving me the output of pwd and it is showing me the good morning message. Okay? Now we also have alias. We have seen the alias. So this is the list of aliases. We have the shell function. The shell checks whether it is an alias or the shell function, and let me switch off this, let me delete this shell function. Unset minus f ls. Now when I give ls, it is showing me this output of ls, but this output of ls is different from, if I give which ls slash bin slash ls, this output of ls is different from this output of ls. That's basically because ls here is an alias, which is ls double hyphen color is equal to auto. So now if I give ls as in slash bin slash ls double hyphen color is equal to auto, it will show me the same color display. So let us try and understand what we have. When you look at the execution of a command, internally the shell is checking out if the command is an alias, shell function. It will also check out if the command you have entered is an internal command. Let us find out a list of internal commands here. Observe that man bash. Observe that when I give man bash, it is giving me the manual page of bash. When I scroll down, I have a list of internal commands which are available to me in the shell. So the for is an internal command, the select is an internal command, the case is an internal command. So this way you have the internal command if, while is an internal command. So these are some of the internal commands which we are seeing. When you scroll down, you'll see there are many more internal commands. Test is an internal command. Read is an internal command. Let me show you in the manual page itself. It has a host of internal commands. Now, when I execute a command and it happens to be an internal command gets the priority. And if it is not an internal command, that is when it will check the value of a variable called path and it executes the file in case it is found in one of the directories listed in the path. To understand command execution in bash, here is a section on command execution itself which talks about all these things which we are exploring. So let us go on to execute, let us go on to understand what we have with the path variable itself. So I'm quitting out of this help and I give echo $path. This output what you're seeing, you have colon which is a directory separator. Whatever you see before the colon is a directory, whatever you see after the colon is a directory, and the colon is a separator. The colon here is a separator. So let us find out what you have. In case the command you've entered is not an alias, not a shell function, not an internal command, shell goes to the first directory listed in the path and checks out if there is a file with the name which you have entered in the first directory. If it is found, it is executed as an external command. If not found, it goes on to the next directory and the next and the next till it either finds the file or runs out of directories. If it runs out of directories, it is going to give you a command not found message. Let's say I just give junk, it gives me a command not found message. In case it finds the command, it is executed as an external command. Now let's try and understand what happens when it executes an external command. Let us first create a Python script. I am giving vi, let us say read display.py. Okay, I am creating a file called read display.py and I am giving name is equal to input, enter your name. Name is equal to input, enter your name, print, so you are, comma, name. So now what I do is, I save this and I will execute it as read display.py. We know it is in the current directory. Observe that it is giving me a command not found message. The reason being, it did not find in the list of directories indicated in the path. So we will need to first of all change the value of the variable path. So I am giving path is equal to $path:\dot, meaning apart from looking into all the directories, also look into the directory called dot. Dot on the Unix operating system is a hard link to the current directory. Now, I re-execute the same command. Let's see the new error message. Observe that it has found the file. It is not giving you a command not found anymore. It is giving a permission denied. So now, I am giving chmod +x followed by read_display.py. Now, let's execute this to see the new error message. Now, when I execute this, it says syntax error near unexpected token opening parenthesis, name is equal to input. So it is giving on line 1 there is an error. Now, what I will do is, I will execute this program by giving sh followed by the script name. Observe that it is giving exactly the same error message. Read display syntax error, okay, syntax error near syntax error parenthesis, okay. Now, this is very close to the error message what you have seen. Let us find out what happens when we do this. It gives you the exact error message what you have seen. This tells us that this particular file called read_display.py was not executed by the Python interpreter. It is executed by the shell. That is, the bash shell is what executed this. Now, what we will do is, we will move this particular file to a file name without the .py extension, and we will execute this program with bash. Observe that it gives me the same error message, and I remove this bash. This also gives me the same error message. This tells us that the command is not executed by Python, it is executed by bash. So now the question is, how do you take care that it is executed by by Python? To understand this, what we need to understand is, on Unix, you have Python, which is going to give us the 2.x version of Python. Now I press a Ctrl D, I come back, and I give Python 3 and hit the enter key. This gives us the Python version 3. So what we need to understand is, when you're working with Windows, things are different, and when you're working with Unix, things are different. On Unix, it is Python 3. So now, what I do is, what I do now is, I give which Python 3, which Python 3, this gives me /usr/bin/python 3. Now let us try and understand what happens when you execute a command, an external command at the $prompt. After going through all this, parsing, going through alias, shell function, internal command, finding that particular file, what the shell does is, even before it executes the command, it checks out what is the type of file based on the contents of the file. Why is that so? Because when you execute a command, an external command, the shell has to create a new process. The new process is created using the fork system call. The fork system call creates a new process, and it is in the new process, using the exec system call, the external command is executed. The exec system call is expecting a compiled program, a binary program. Incidentally, the type of file which we are giving, that is the .py file which we are giving, is not a compiled program because we did not compile our Python script. So now, let us try and understand what your shell does. It checks out what is the type of file based on the contents. If it finds it is compiled program, no additional work to be done. But if it finds that it is a text file, it executes this text file. Before executing the text file, what it does is, it checks out what are the first two characters in the file. If it finds the first two characters in the file as hash and exclamation mark, then the behavior is different. In case it does not find, as in the case of our program, where we have not created with the hash exclamation. No, note that we have not given hash exclamation in our case. Now in this case, what it does is, it executes this with the default shell of the operating system, and the default shell of the operating system on the Linux box is bash. So now let us go on to give hash exclamation /usr/bin/python 3. Now when I do this, save this program and execute, let us find out what it does. I am executing this. Now it is asking enter your name. I entered my name and hit the enter key, and it is giving me, so you are Khaleel. Let us try and understand what happened. When you execute a Python script on the Unix box, all your Python scripts on the Unix operating system need to have the hash exclamation statement. This is what is telling the interpreter which has to be executing this particular script. All your Python scripts on the Windows operating system need a .py extension. Incidentally, we did not give a .py extension here, and still we were able to execute. So with this, we understand that when you're working with the Unix operating system, you'll have to give hash exclamation /usr/bin/python3. One note of caution. The hash should be the first character in the file. The exclamation character should be the second character in the file. Meaning, before the hash exclamation, you can't have anything. You can't have a space, you can't have a new line, you can't have an empty line, you can't have a comment, you can't have anything. Because it is looking for the hash exclamation as the first two characters in the file. In case you make any mistake here, let us say I make a spelling mistake here and I try to execute, it would give you a bad interpreter error message. This tells you that the first line there is some error. Observe that instead of giving Python in lowercase, I changed that to an uppercase, due to which it is giving me this particular error message. So now I change it back and I execute it, and it is executing fine. So with this, we come to the end of this particular section. Thank you very much for watching. Look forward to seeing you in the next section.